Breaking news, Michigan Supreme Court keeping former President Donald Trump on the state's primary election ballot. The court ruling today in a decision it will not hear an appeal of a lower court's ruling from groups seeking to keep Trump from appearing on the ballot in Michigan. And Trump put out this truth shortly after the Michigan ruling, saying in part, quote, "This pathetic gambit to rig the election has failed all across the country, including in states that have historically leaned heavily toward the Democrats. Colorado is the only state to have fallen prey to the scheme." Also breaking in the legal world today, Special Counsel Jack Smith continued to file motions as though that March 4th trial date will remain in the federal election case. His filing today says he wants Trump to be barred from telling the jury that he was targeted for prosecution by Joe Biden. Smith saying it's not just wrong, but irrelevant to whether evidence proves his innocence or guilt. Among the other things, Smith reportedly wants Trump barred from raising to the jury agency prep for January 6, undercover agents in the J6 crowd, alleged foreign influence in 2020, and cross-examination questions to witnesses that he says might infringe on valid privileges. Let's bring in now expert attorney Julianne Murray, who's the state chair of the Delaware Republican Party as well. Welcome in. Great to have you today, Julianne.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas, belated. How are you?
We are doing good. It's a very busy week, though. No slowing down, I guess, for Jack Smith. I want to get your reaction to this filing today to sort of break down in layman's term what he's trying to do. It's not a gag order, but he certainly wants some of Trump's comments and Trump's maybe legal defenses to be limited when it comes to the jury. What is your make here? He's saying Trump can't say he's the target of a political and vindictive prosecution. Why would Smith care about that? I mean, obviously we can get into the J6 and undercover agents, but what do you think the biggest fear is with Jack Smith?
I think that he is afraid of what the defense is going to be. I think that Trump could make, or Trump's attorneys could make the case that he was a target. That this is, in terms of, it's hilarious. In it, Jack Smith says, we don't want this to be political. It's completely political. So politics is part of this. And, and I think that, in terms of his saying that or trying to limit what Trump or Trump's team can do, speaks to his fear about the strength of the case. But it's also, he shouldn't be able to do that. Trump's team, they get to put on the defense that they want to put on. And if Trump wants to get on the stand or doesn't want to get on the stand and he wants to say that this is vindictiveness or whatever he wants to, he ought to be able to do that. And I don't, I disagree with Smith even filing this.
Right. But obviously a D.C. judge is Chukon here, the federal judge. So ultimately we'll see where it goes. But also, I mean, Christopher Wray has testified on the Hill about, certain things when it comes to January 6th, the prep and possible undercover agents. I mean, there's all of this here. Again, limiting Trump's ability to bring this up. Does it hurt his defense, though, ultimately, or is there some type of workaround if this doesn't go his way?
It does hurt his defense. So if the judge grants this request, the quote unquote good news is that is a grounds for appeal. I think that everybody anticipates that if this actually goes to trial, the chances that he's going to get a fair trial in a D.C. circuit with this judge are slim. So it's going to go an appellate path. And that decision by the judge will be something they could appeal.
Very important note there. I want to get your take on Michigan, the Supreme Court rejecting the insurrection ban, saying they were not persuaded by anything that they need to discuss this. Obviously, in Colorado, the state law is different, and it went to a trial phase there. But what do you make of this now that we know it's most likely going to be in front of the U.S. Supreme Court on these 14th Amendment insurrection arguments by maybe as many as 20 states, Julianne?
Well, I don't like the trend in terms of they're trying to take away the power of the people and the will of the people. And so, I mean, the Colorado decision is a problem, but the silver lining to the Colorado decision is that I think it is going to make its way to the U.S. Supreme Court. They don't legally have to take it. I think they will, because there's going to be more of this to come. And, the Michigan decision is helpful, but even in the decision, they say this is for the primary. Talk to us later about the general election. So I think that, it's a win, but at the same time, the Supreme Court absolutely has to weigh in.
It's going to be a very busy start to the new year, really unprecedented legal areas we're in with such huge consequences. Julianne Murray, appreciate your time today. Always a pleasure to have you in.
Thank you so much, Bianca.
Thank you.